I mean, I feel ready for the human society now after getting out of a 14-day Vipassana silence meditation retreat here in North Italy. Vipassana is a type of meditation that actually was taught in the very old Buddhist text 2,500 years ago with the goal of spiritual awakening, okay? Buddha style, enlightenment, freedom from suffering, liberation. And Vipassana was the method that Buddha initially taught. So this meditation retreat is, we sit in silence. We're not allowed to talk with each other. And also because of the coronavirus, we're also distanced and we have a mask on. So we're very antisocial. And we meditate, just the basic way of mindfulness. Mindfulness, just being aware of the sensations in the body that comes up, the sensations, the senses, the five senses: touch, vision, hearing, sounds, taste, and smell. Was that five? I think so. I always forget one of them. There's also a sixth sense, and that's the mental sensations, the thoughts. But those are actually made of those other senses, in my opinion, in my discovery. How was that experience like for me? Yeah. I've been meditating for 10 years and more and more, but I've never gone to a meditation retreat like this. So that was quite interesting. Now I feel I feel calm, peaceful, more peaceful than ever probably, as a default way of being after this retreat. I think my default calmness is higher now, or deeper, after these 2 weeks. It was intense and it was painful for my hips especially, because I'm a stiff old soccer player. I can't sit in lotus very well or easily. It's not very comfortable for me. I did use a cheating kind of pull string, a pillow. I sat on a cushion and then I had pillows underneath my knees so I could ease the hips a little, but it was still painful at times. But I knew there was no point in complaining about it in my mind. Sometimes I did, but then I was just back into the mode, tried to go back into the present and actually watch this pain arise. So that's the point. You are not these things. You are not the pain or the psychological, the feelings that come up or the thoughts that come up. They just come and go. They're always temporary. They're never permanent. There are impermanence. Everything changes. Everything comes and goes. And that's Vipassana. And we just watch that process happen. And we watch it over and over again. And it's essentially, I've done a couple of live streams about the magic mushroom experience. It's a psychedelic substance. And this Vipassana is essentially the wisdom of the mushroom. At least for me, the mushroom says, the experience really communicates fully, sense life and the feelings and the body sensations, and really own them before they create suffering, before they create fantasy and drama and feel emotions, which is not wrong. It's just more diluted than the more immediate things, which are the senses. There's a meditation, sitting meditation and walking meditation every other hour. And so it starts 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. Walking meditation, and then 6 a.m. it's sitting meditation, then it's breakfast, and then every other hour that's sitting and walking. And to me, the meditations, the sitting meditations were the most effective. That's when I was most focused. On the walking meditations, you don't have everyone looking at you necessarily, and you can kind of walk in your own tempo, and it's a little bit easier, in my opinion, my experience, to let the mind fly. But the sitting meditations are pretty intense. It's like a little yoga workout for me because of my stiffness in my hips. On the first day, little confused. Oh no, what have I done? What have I done? I was signed up for 1 week initially, and I ended up staying 2 weeks because I felt that it was useful. And the guru, Malaysian monk, he highly recommended me to stay longer. On day 2nd and 3rd, it was still a little, my mind was flying a little bit everywhere. Not uncommon the first few days.
Posso salutare?
Oh.
Viva Milano, ragazzi, viva Milano.
Oh yeah, Viva Milano. Second and third day, a little bit woo. Meditation is a thing I do every day, but still, it was my mind was flying a bit, and it took a little while to get really concentrated. This took about 3 days to get really into it. So the first 3 days, I was also a little, oh man, what am I doing here? Especially those 2 first days, because I never want to commit to anything. And even 7 days is a lot for me to commit to. And I also felt the pressure of maybe staying 2 weeks. So I was worrying a little about that. Oh man, what am I going to be in? If I'm going to be in 2 weeks, what am I going to miss out on in my daily life? And I think that's normal on these types of retreats. And being alone with yourself, talking to nobody, not being on your phone, is hard for most people in these times. But I did check the phone a little bit, maybe 5 minutes a day. More actually. I'm embarrassed to admit. Yeah, but I did that more. Oh man. It's tempting to talk to these girls. Actually, it's I'm too nervous to do it now. I'm not in that mode. But I see that they're looking more at me when I'm doing this live stream thing. Yeah, exciting. Do you know how amazing the world looks and how beautiful the women looks after you've done a silent retreat or been away from the society, been on your cabin in the forest for 2 weeks? Have you ever experienced that? And then come back? Or maybe you've been in the military for 6 months and then you come back. It's amazing how beautiful every girl looks. The 4th day, this interesting thing happened. Okay. I was getting really concentrated on the 4th day. And I was getting this insane, ridiculous amount of concentration that I've never had before in my meditations. Just in 5 minutes, just zoom, and it was like a swordfish, boom, through space, a space swordfish, and a machine gun concentration that could just boom penetrate everything that I was concentrating on. So I was like, okay, what the hell am I gonna use this amazing concentration on? I better use it really wisely. So let's go for it. Let's go for the prize, which is the ego. Okay, what if I can actually penetrate through the ego and blast into nirvana right now? And I think I was close. So it is okay. So I don't know if that would finalize everything for me on this path, but it was ridiculous. Some place insane. It would literally be mind blowing. It would be the literal most mind blowing experience of my life if I really hit the nail on this one. So I was like, okay, what's the thing that is concentrating here? Go straight into that. And I was asking questions like, who am I? Okay, what's the ego? Who's this self? Who's this guy who wants to be famous? Who wants to be enlightened? Who wants to be rich? Who wants to seek approval? Who's doubting this process? All these ego source questions to use this concentration on. And I was getting cool. I was getting and then it faded out. Unfortunately. I was getting too excited. I was thinking, whoa, what if I actually blast into nirvana right now and stay there? Because it felt like a cessation like a big cessation was going to happen. I've had many cessations before where you basically blip out and in of reality really quickly. But this one was the biggest one. So I told the teacher about this the next day, and he said, "Wow, that's amazing. And this was your first retreat, and that's only day 5. You should extend your retreat." So I started considering extending the retreat, and I did. And on day 7, first day 5 and 6, they were a little psychedelic. The meditations got a little visual. I could see images. I could see the feet of Jesus. Walk in front of me, and I could see lots of pyramids and buildings. So I see these symbols as the mind. It could be anything. Okay. Maybe the feet of Jesus. Maybe because Jesus exists somewhere and maybe is close to me. Or that is just the mind playing tricks. I go for the mind playing tricks because you cannot get attached to any of these images, or you shouldn't be, because that will just get you confused and it will slow down the process. So yeah, I kept going, kept riding, kept feeling these high vibrations, these vibrations in my skin and in my muscles, and then it was easier to see through concepts such as the self, the ego, the insecurity thoughts, pride thoughts, and pride feelings, and anxieties and fear, anticipation, expectation, all mental phenomena, and the bodily phenomena. And it was easier to see through them because the world became more 3D. It was easier to see through it. Yeah, so on day 7, this amazing thing happened. I was sitting in a meditation and I felt stretched. I felt like I was going to be shot out of a cannon, or 6 cannons actually, just from directions. Either be shot by 6 cannons or shot out of 1 cannon or 6 cannons. I know it doesn't make sense, but it felt like a lot of power there was building up, just like on the day 5th. And then I felt like a catapult, the catapult used in the medieval age and in Rome to destroy buildings. And I felt like the catapult was being stretched here, and here, and here, and here, there, from 6 directions or something. I mean, multiple directions, angles. And I was going to be shot into the universe somewhere or some place crazy. So I was wondering, when is this going to happen? When am I going to be shot out of a cannon by 6 cannons or 6 catapults? And I didn't. It didn't happen like that. I didn't get out of a cannon. That's only in the circus. Instead of being shot out, I was just stretched. And stretched so much that a crack opened up here and then here, which has happened before, so nothing special about that. Soothing energy coming out and blissful feelings. But the next morning, I was sitting in a painful sit, pain in the hips, as usual. But now I was more sensible, I was more sensitive after 7 days of meditation. So I was wondering, can I actually see the self here? Who am I? Who is the one who is experiencing this pain, who is suffering from this pain? And since I could suffer, I was suffering in pain, I could feel more, and there was more identification, more me, more, poor me, you know. In those moments, your ego is very triggered. When it's poor you, you're suffering. Oh, poor me. It's strong, it's triggered. So it was a good opportunity for me to actually find the self. Where does the self come from, the sufferer? And I could see the sensation actually arising from the heart in that moment as this can't do the movement, I need 2 hands, but it was like this, kind of heart-shaped actually, but not red, more like just dark. But I could see through it. I could see that it was just a sensation, and it was just coming out of the heart. And I told my teacher about that, and he said, the self is eventually, a practitioner will feel the self as a feeling in the heart region here. Most will eventually. And so he told me to keep looking and feeling this, exploring the sensations around the heart region. So I kept doing that, and on day 8, it was pretty normal. Day 8, 9, and 10, they were heart-opening a process, kind of a slow process. Until the day 7, it was very vibratory and very, like pow stuff happening, explosions and fireworks in my mind here, boom, 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 and also in front of my heart, boom, leading to these openings here, the opening of the heart. And I was getting into the sensation and feeling the heart out and seeing what's in there. And that was actually triggering a little bit anger and agitation on the day 10, which is normally the last day of a average retreat. So they're usually 10 days. So I was getting a little bummed out actually. I was hoping for some more faster pow stuff. But I also saw the value in going through this slow, more emotional process. So it was a little hard to meditate properly and be present and concentrated on day 10. On day 11, I had a meeting with my teacher, and he said, okay, go back to keep feeling the heart, but also notice the bodily sensations, because you seem to have forgotten that part now, because you're agitated, you're angry, and you're losing your mindfulness. So. And he was right. I was getting a little bit out of balance because of these emotional things coming up because of the heart opening. So I got back into the mental sensations. Sorry guys that I haven't responded to much people. I just needed to get the story out first. I will respond later. I felt the vibrations and body again. So my concentration increased. Day 11, 12, and on day 12, I think, that's when my real breakthrough came that I'm still surfing on right now. And that was an ability to, because of the sensibility and the mindfulness was so strong after so many days of focus. I could actually feel I could sense the self more often, more and more often, more and more clearly. The ego, basically, the one who is the experience or the illusion of the self. Okay, the illusion of the ego that is seeming to control everything you're doing. You think in your mind that you are Sebastian and that you're going to school tomorrow and that you have an exam and that things are going to go really bad for you in life if you don't pass it. So this story here, okay, they start with, if you're mindful, you will not let this story completely take over you. But some points in life, we're not that mindful and we forget our immediate experience to be present. You can hear the hair now, okay, the breath, the senses, and we go into story mode. Oh, I'm this guy and I've experienced these things and I want to accomplish this and I'd never want to experience that again. And it becomes this collection of ideas and you feel attached to it, and it's you, it's Sebastian, it's Jacqueline, it's Anna, and it's Stephen. And it's, your face, your images, how you look, all these things are attached to your idea of yourself. And you think you're like this thing, walking around controlling everything. And it's probably hard to understand and see through now just by hearing my talk, but if you are a little bit interested in the title here, maybe you can get a sense of what I'm referring to. And I could, on the day 12, I could see it more clearly. So I could see that if I was suffering, it was painful in my hips or something, or in my back. I was asking myself, who is feeling sorry for himself? Who is feeling this? Who is the sufferer here? Who am I? And I could feel it more and more in the heart. A feeling that changed, sometimes really small, going into a really, really small knot, which would make up my heart. And sometimes it will be a larger thing, more pink feeling, that was more easy to see through, but wider. And this probably goes very, very deep. And maybe it's going to take a long time to totally feel this out. And actually, my teacher said, I think I told you, when you feel this out, the self will drop into nirvana. No less than that. And he talked clearly about, he's a monk, he's been meditating many hours a day for 50 years, probably. And he's very at peace. He has done his spiritual insight meditation work. And he says, there's a point. Nirvana exists, whether you like it or not. And the more you practice, the more you will believe me, he said. And I believe him. I've had my fair share of insights. I don't know how close I am to that kind of thing. If you look up, actually a guy I know, a YouTuber called Frank Yang, he's a fun guy. He's, I think he has actually flipped the thing over, turned the script. And he's seeing the world in this kind of strange way, where there is, he says every day he sees infinity every moment in everything. Whatever that means, it's hard to explain. You gotta see for yourself. And it's supposedly pretty peaceful and joyous. It's nicer. It's highly recommended. Just can't tell you why. You gotta figure out for yourself. It was day 14 today, and feeling more at ease with things. we'll see how this works into my life. How I can keep the momentum going on. And now let's get back to questions.